operate a little bit further back, follow up a little bit easier than the Kalista. Obviously, Camille can change the equation for Kalista quite a bit, whereas those defensive tools...
We're not going to go for the flash over the wall as Gideon, can he escape? Can he get the execute?
I think so.
And it looks like the answer is...
Oh!
Yeah, you can.
That poison just stays so long.
Here in mid lane, I wonder when Willer is going to do his bottom side camps, as there is the Dragon Flag to not actually get too much CC, but here is the engage. It's a lot of damage onto the Syndra, and down she will go. The curtains were called as well. As the gold is not a gigantic advantage, but with aiming, getting back up in the lane is great. But now Andal is very dead, like exceptionally dead.
Yeah, this time he probably should have been a little bit further away from the mid lane.
Yeah.
True.
Well, now I'm going. Will he find the hook shot? The answer is no, because there is that the ulti to come through from Frog. Still going to get knocked up by Gideon, though. And tick, 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 tick. And the Ignite goes down. Now I'm going, holds onto the turret aggro for such a long time. Finally, he gets flagged.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that with the setup they have in this draft that can't just turn around very quickly.
Oh.
Aiming is a bit far forward.
Yes, he is going to be put into the ultimatum as the flash out of the way of the anchor comes through. Gideon just skewers the new 80 carry of Kiwoom DRX. And now the rest of them have to get away, but it's so difficult. Flag and drag locks down Andal. Gideon standing in the way of any attempted anchor play. And down they will go. The Bros now erupt into a 2,000 gold lead.
Yeah, that's all it drop of the Herald. Like, they were able to pick this Herald up earlier, and they're just going to drop it with no objective up and just try to put it in. Gideon could try to stop this from charging.
Yeah, there's the Cataclysm forward. They're looking for aiming. Who doesn't have flash? He's just dead. And yes, Shelly gets the charge, but the Bros get their target, and there is no way. They're barely even going to miss out on a few of these creeps. As the Bros move to a 2.7k gold advantage, they'll be able to get first turret here as well. That should be over a 3k.
It's Ocean Soul with his brush here. It's so hard to fight without vision for Kiwoom DRX, but they're going to force it anyways.
Yeah, casting. He's in range for any sort of equalizer. Scatter the Weak goes down. Willer is going to get zoned away. He does manage to get the Dragon, but he dies immediately afterwards. Andal's going to fall down as well. There's Dragons falling over, and there is turrets falling down, but Kiwoom DRX are also just going to get destroyed. 3 dead, yet he can only go in the water.
Yeah, no, he can't. He's not supposed to get out yet, but he wanted to go back in. After.
It was crazy how Bro opted into that, and then as soon as it looked really bad after Willer got the steal and he died, they were like, let's opt in again.
You mean Kiwoom DRX?
Yeah, sorry, excuse me.
Yes. The Bros definitely didn't opt in either.
No, they
would
just waited and said, thank you for the free setup.
Yeah, and they didn't get the Drake, but that wasn't necessarily the point, as they've now moved to a 5.6k gold advantage, make that 5.7. And yeah, you can have your Ocean Dragon. We are now going to set up around the Baron. Teddy gets that transformation that we were talking about. Cataclysm and all that equalizer placement. Just gorgeous, meaning the Kiwoom DRX are unable to defend their support. And so now, 5 versus 4 around this Baron pit. It is 22 minutes. The Baron really does hurt, so they're not going to go for it just yet. Cooldown and isn't an actual blink. But, you know, it fares a similar way. It hits the same power spikes as Yukao flashing towards Roma here, and he is just going to get bitten. Down goes the Syndra. In other games, the Baron would have been possible, but it's a 7-1 Jarvan.
Yeah.
So if he gets into the pit, like, yes, killing him's more difficult.
Sweet, but,
yeah, I mean, the amount of upsets that we've had have been kind of ridiculous. Is casting underneath this turret, not going to get hit by the Petrifying Gaze, and goes golden to buy time. Gideon moving up, Anchor is going to go wide, flash out of the way of the public execution. And yeah, he uses a bunch of cooldowns, but in the end, his turret will still just go down.
Absolutely. He doesn't have full vision or anything like that.
Yep.
But Bro just not going to let this one go. It's only second Dragon, so this is not a big deal per se.
It does mean that Kiwoom DRX are able to park themselves around this Baron and get full control of this topside river. There's a teleport in though. The Bros know what's going on. They're going to put aiming in the Cataclysm. The equalizer follows him. Andal is burning down and Teddy will finish him off. And now Yukao getting pushed away. The scatter as Roma tries to find the revenge, but that Petrifying Gaze was outstanding. The stopwatch even better out of Roma, and the Bros are immortal, invincible in the team fight, and they'll take the Baron.
Just too far ahead at this point. Yukal's ultimate was phenomenal, but it doesn't matter if there's no follow-up. He's still alive here with aiming. They're going to try to stop this Baron, but it is going to be a tall ask.
Yeah, Roma is going to take so much damage here.
Well,
oh, he starts off these captive audiences from aiming. Yukal moves in. It is going to be the Baron secured. And there's the flash from Gideon. Yukal will be taken out. Aiming spotted there by the scrying orb, and there is vision over here. Andal moving down. Teddy blocks. And Gideon is just going to try and kill Andal here as well. Aiming, just kind of watching all of his new teammates die, one after the other, kind of put into the crucible here in his first game.
Down he goes. And this one...
Basically a 50-50 at that stage. Kind of insane. We're having a look at some craziness in live as well. As Gideon's getting hunted down, they will be able to grab that kill. As now Frog gets into the backline. Roma taking a lot of damage. Teddy is able to snipe him down though, and this Corki is so fed. 7-0 and 6 right now. Looking to be legendary with just one more kill, and just needs a rocket towards Andal. That's not it. That is going to miss, and will be denied a legendary Teddy for the next little few moments.
Yeah, Yukal being here makes it hard for Teddy to flash.
All right, well,
it's like
the boy with the bubble.
You remember playing Sonic back in the day, you got that bubble on, you're not going to lose any ring.
Oh, absolutely
you
not.
Keep it.
Yeah.
That's always how I feel about Banshee's Veil, is Frog, I don't know how he feels about it, but I don't think he's thinking about it right now.
No, he's just thinking about what he's going to do after he comes out of the Death Chamber and how legendary Teddy is.
He is hard farming, he's on 4 items, he's got 5 stacks of Dark Seal, 9,000 gold down.
I think they're dead, ladies and gentlemen. Aiming is just going to get ultimatumed and taken out. It's Namgung that grabs that one. There goes the Syndra, so Roma's woes continue. But into the back line they go. Casting, finding another great equalizer to split up the battlefield. Sidesteps Yukal's Petrifying Gaze. This man is courageous. He ain't afraid of anything, not even snakes. And humans are predisposed to be scared of snakes, ladies and gentlemen. And he says no to instinct and says yes to killing the enemy Nexus.
What about Yordles?
That's hired someone to do it.
Wow. I didn't even know there were people you could hire like that. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, neither did I. He told me that, like, yeah, apparently you could just find someone on Dungan to do it for you, which is like the second. And so that is going to get you more value. Won't have quite as much poke. It's okay. Aiming. Throws down the ultimate to see whether they can find an angle. That hookshot was just gorgeous out of Namgung. Andal immediately punished for the play, and Casting will show up to roast them. Dives onto Aiming. He finds the harpoon just beautifully. That was perfect rumble play. That is a Petrifying Gaze that kind of works, but in the end, Kiwoom DRX will just be dispatched by the Bros. Yeah, it took them a while to get that Pokedex together, but once they did, that little robotic voice said that they had a nice completion, and then they went and spoke to that guy, and they got that Game Freak award. Here are the Nexus turrets going down, and the Bros will take game number 1 over Kiwoom DRX, welcoming Aiming to his new team.
40 minutes it takes.
Yorick is hit E. The bird flaps away from the E a little bit worse than the Aurora would. So I expect Casting would have preferred to play the Aurora there.
Frogger 2.
No, I didn't. I did hear about Frogger 2. I did also hear about Roma possibly being dead. The flash to follow. There's first blood for Willa. Beautifully played.
The LCK is letting us all know through Ox and some joking that, oh boy, Andal.
Yeah, taking a lot of damage here. As Aiming trying to offer it back, and actually Teddy not left in the tank as Aiming flashes in. He gets fire kicked, but I think he's still got it. As another auto will need to land, and Aiming's already looking for Namgung here instead. That is gorgeous. 30, not anything to worry about as Gideon moving down towards his bottom side, trying to capitalize on the lack of flashes as Andal should be the target, but the Q is going to hit onto Aiming, and they get both. Gideon on the board with a double kill in the bot lane.
And like given the try to make a pass on Yukal, Yukal is too safe.
Yeah, he is transitioning back down again.
Yeah, it
looked like he was safeguarding to go up, but instead he's going to go back, as now Teddy Gonna try and find some damage towards aiming. He takes a lot though, as now Gideon comes in, kicks Willer away, and doesn't do enough damage. Now Yukal's coming over. We're gonna need a safeguard out, and Gideon will leave. Does feel a little bit like a waste of time, as Willer almost dying to the Chemtech Dragon, but he'll be all right as, oh, Yukal, you could see he wants it. Finds the bear onto the Lee Sin, and we'll be able to take them down. Now Roma, does he have an angle for it? The answer's no, and the health bar is just a little too high for this Aurora to burn.
Maybe.
What's the idea here? Oh, Gideon. This is so cute. I don't think he's been spotted. There's the flash kick. Aiming gonna get tagged and taken out in the mid lane once again.
And the shoes on the other foot in terms of what I was just...
Situation, as Gideon is still behind enemy lines here. We'll be seen by this ward. Yeah. He wants to find aiming again.
Oh, I think he thinks that he's unseen. There's the flash over from Willer, and boom goes the Lee Sin. That should guarantee when you're Drake for Kiwoom DRX.
When you're playing this tricky, sometimes you get caught, sometimes you get found out. He didn't the last time around. He got aiming then, but this time he is blown up. And unfortunately didn't have a sweeper because he's Lee Sin to know that he was on a ward because he wants to keep the trinket in order to maximize his mobility.
The bros can pull themselves back up after this because aiming just running amok in the mid lane will be able to take
control over this Lucian. He's really actually made a much larger impact here as Gideon once again.
Yeah, Frog is going between the worlds, kicked into the wall, and nowhere to go. Does have a lot of healing, so it takes some time, but he was never going to survive.
If he can keep his team afloat in this game, might be punished by Pantheon.
Yeah, Roma, let's see whether he can escape this. Does have flash, so I have a feeling he might be able to be tricky and get over it. Never mind, he's not going to use it. He's just going to die.
He's just going to give the kill over to aiming, in fact. And we're on the Kiwoom side.
Crystallize just barely missing onto aiming there, who Arcane shifts forward once again. Looking for angles towards Namgong. The Mystic Shot's really hurting. True Shot Barrage doing the same thing. Here's the man drop as Willer goes forward one more time. Gets kicked back, and the culling is eaten by everyone. Casting down to the egg. Frog still looking healthy, and so is Teddy. But the bear comes through. The ulti from Namgong is a little bit late as the bear is burning Teddy down. He needs another relentless pursuit, but he is not going to be fighting for his team anymore. And Kiwoom DRX, they lose one, but their health bars are looking a whole lot better.
Yeah, they get a kill, but they lose the fight. They're not actually able to push any further. They're all going to have to retreat. They get a Maiden here for their troubles, as again, this is just a terrible matchup for the Maiden, at least.
Yeah, the Maiden gets hard counted. I'm not sure about the Yorick.
The Yorick's doing all right, but okay. The target selection with Tibbers just yet here for Yukal, getting closer and closer.
Yeah, Frog missing out on the Maiden as well, as the Morning Mist isn't going to land. Does put casting in the pen, and Willer is going to join him there. Flash out from the bird. Oh my goodness, the damage! Doesn't have egg, just popped like a balloon.
Yeah, there's a lot of engage here, by the way, as it turns out for Kiwoom DRX. They got Annie, they got a Pantheon, but they also got Ghoulie Wall! And that is Lee Sin. They do have some vision in the pit. It will be cleared. Let's see if they decide to go in.
Double teleports coming down onto this ward as Namgong looking very, very low. There is the Maiden being attacked as they put Roma in the Ghoulie Wall. Namgong in a lot of trouble, but keeps himself alive. They pull off the Baron, but lose their jungler. Now Frog's in trouble, and Teddy making this Infinity Edge work, man.
They tried to send Willer to kill the enemy jungler so he could secure the Baron, but the exact opposite occurs. As he's focused down, they lose the Baron. And this game is just peak comedy.
Oh, it is. We are broing and brewing like we never have before in the original map. They have reformed now, though, as Kiwoom DRX. Being set up on one more time. Crystallize goes down. Frog now down to half health as Roma bounces out of the Ghoulie Wall. Willer there with the Aegis, but now has that one on cooldown as Teddy will clear out this wave. And, oh my goodness, Andal taking a lot of damage. They go between the worlds. Aiming takes a lot of damage from that one. There's the flash kick back onto Willer. His health bar's going to explode. The last shot there from Teddy. Fantastic. As now this glacial storm is blocking the rest of Kiwoom DRX from getting in. And without a smite, I do not think they're getting a soul off the back of this one.
And Frog is going in. They're trying to get picked.
Now the fight is down. Casting goes to the egg. Do they have enough damage? Yes, they do. Still, Roma gets a lot of AoE in there. Gideon locks down the dragon. Can they get out, though? As Teddy will be taken out by the Pyroblast. Aiming, gets over the wall. The Mystic Shots are raining down. He flashes over. Roma's taken out for a double for Yukao. And Kiwoom DRX, even though they miss out on the Drake, they will win the fight.
That's right. Ocean Soul. And the game just keeps going from here.
It does. Back end of this one. So nicely done so far for Kiwoom DRX as the bear goes wide. There are a lot of like NPCs that can be thrown down by Kiwoom DRX as there is the turn on to Roma and he just explodes. Actually takes himself between worlds and would prefer to be back on this particular plane. They are going to break over the mace.
Yeah, they're going to push to potentially end this game. Romer's not up for 45 seconds. We are super late in this game. As it's been a slow one, but it ended with a bang.
Look at this.
It looks like we're going the distance.
Of siege minions here. There are 3 cannons walking towards these Nexus turrets, and my goodness, aiming does so much damage to these structures. As Gideon looking to go in, doesn't have his flash, but does have the kick. As Teddy tidies up the minions at least with the culling and does a bit of damage to aiming. So that will be 1 Nexus turret falling, and the inhibitor turret in this bottom lane will be falling down as well. Mid lane is open, the Glacial Storm comes down, and the Bros may live to fight one more day, but their base may not.
All right, they are going to survive, but 2 inhibs down. And if anybody...
Where they just say, I don't care about your brush camp, we're just going to push this super minion wave into your base. As Teddy taking a lot of damage here. Another minion wave does conga line out.
He also has TP, so even though he's relatively far away, he could have just TP'd at any moment. He is just going to get the group up here to actually start sieging this top inhibitor turret.
Oh, bit of poke damage there from the Bros, but not looking like it's going to be enough. The Medium is just going to be annoyed by the Crystallize once again.
I see a on-the-way ping from Willer to the Dragon. He's like, okay, we're not. This game is going to go on a little bit longer.
Gonna go down a Crystallize to block Willer out.
It's not worth it.
Dragon.
It's just an Ocean Soul. It's okay, Kiwoom DRX.
All right, well, the TP does go down. The culling's fantastic, but the Frog is just going back to the base. Aurora going to show up. They deny the soul, and the Bros look to escape. Willer a bit worse for wear, but he's still ulting in. As Namgun, can he keep his teammates alive? Willer is so close to dead, but the bear flies down. True Shot Barrage onto 4, and Frog pulls out the shovel and looks to dig the grave for the Bros here in game number 2.
They finally close the door. Nothing left in this Nexus turret. Romer doing his best to try to get to the back line.
He'll get there, but that's also where he'll stay as a corpse. The Nexus will then be taken down, and Kiwoom DRX, they'll bring us to game number 3.
Of putting the Renekton topside here into the Gnar is just too volatile for me. I can't trust, especially after how Bro played game 2, that HANJIN are going to be able to slam dunk this one. Teddy actually has that AP to even hit with his Qs a little bit harder in those little bursty trades. And he's just having such a good time right now.
This is perfect positioning here as Namgun comes in, spots out Willa, and Gideon wanting to hit that level 6 as Willa does have control of the crab. Bolt Breaker doesn't get them out of there. Headbutt Pulverize onto the flashless Ryze, but Paranoia comes in. He did manage to take down that crab, and now Willa, he's got a spell shield. He's gonna take down Gideon, and first blood goes over to the Shen. Roma now, can he actually land another shove? The answer is no, as Teddy just slowly... At least now Gideon does have level 6.
Good news for Brion is that that was a Shen kill. As Realm Warp coming in, Teddy is pretty far forward.
Yeah, Arcane Storm goes down. He realizes that he is gonna have to try and kill aiming because he is definitely going to die to Yukao, and now just going to deal with the wave where he can. Doesn't have flash, so didn't even have the opportunity.
Out-camped a little bit in this game, and we'll at least be able to get these back. Taliyah, and they don't have any control. And this Renekton pick, I don't know if it were Tristana.
But this will...
they got first brick, that big of a deal, but the rest of the map is quite a big deal. The fact that aiming is pretty huge is a problem, as this taunt could also be a problem for Namgu.
Yep, there's the Pulverize, as Andal's taking a lot of damage. Gravity Well goes down, there's the Weave as well. Namgun gets the headbutt back onto Andal, who does flash away. And now the rest of them are looking to take down the cow. They do so, cease and desist onto the escaping Shen. I imagine there's probably a better use for that one. as it's a trade of supports, but the Rift Herald is bearing down on this mid lane. We'll be able to get a big old charge, and Kiwoom DRX, there is still a minute and a half left until this Dragon, but they are in such a good position here in this game.
They really, really are. 2 kills here to UCal. I think this draft for Bro, I mean, I said it at the outset. I think it is very, very tough to find success.
Very low already. Namgung can at least get into the river.
On at this point, Spell Shield available for aiming. He's on 2 items, and they're going to try to get this Dragon. They will be successful. How do they escape?
Pretty hard, though, you know?
Yeah. I've seen all sorts of things in my mind's eye, though, so honestly, it's a tough one. Gideon going to miss the Vault Breaker. And there's on the hunt. Paranoia comes down again. Decent pulverize as Andal in a bit of trouble. Aiming forced to flash away as the exhaust comes through. Another altered Shen is going to be Andal on the floor. Gideon gets out of the way of the Duskbringer as Willa getting pushed away from the fight. So 1-0 so far for the Bros.
They got the flash.
You could say that it's positive.
Yeah, they got the flash of both of the bottom duo as well. So no flash for aiming anymore. No flash for Andal. And that's silly because, you know, KRX walked into combo range, but they didn't actually do the combo itself. It was just a really late ult here from Vi.
Oh, Romer is dead. Andal is going to get cut up by the Colamique, but that is not an even trade. Mid lane for support.
Yeah, they also got the TP out of the Renekton. It's a multiple faceted win here for KRX as they're sieging up the mid lane. Frog's going in with an R set.
Yeah, well, he does find it onto 3. It's pretty big. Paranoia gets into the back line as, all right, Namgung did a decent job tanking them up, but he will still go down. And so there is the Wombo combo now on cooldown. The Bros still have some buttons left available. The Arcane Storm is there. The Weaver's Wall just came up now. As the Realm Warp comes in, Gravity Well comes down. It's a Shen delivery as Andal is going to help take down Roma yet again. But there goes Willa. Casting will get cut up, and now it's Ted the Aiming Show, whose ricochets will tear them apart. And yeah, they may not have had the ultimates, but they did have a right click from a Sivir.
Romer was...
We're going in. And in goes Andal, he's going to do it himself. My God, the damage. It's a decent shove, but Teddy is already dead. Willer is able to escape here as well. They're staying alive for a little bit longer than I was expecting, but aiming is safe. He cuts up the Renekton, picks up a double kill. Namgung is just going to die underneath this turret. Andal gets delivered. Actually, no, Namgung is going to survive. No steak dinner, but KRX will still be winning this game.
All right, that's it. Simple as that. Very straightforward game where Bro waited forever for Kiwoom DRX to make a mistake. They didn't. And if anyone watches this game and says, well, I guess Bro just didn't do anything, they rolled over and died. They really couldn't do anything in this game. That was the problem.
Well, as a 3-man pulver, Namgung's dead. The Nexus turrets are also going to go down. It's 13-4. This was a complete shutout by Kiwoom DRX. And the Bros gonna have to try a bit harder in their next matchup.